that he's almost going to feel like he's sweeping some dirt and allowing that putter to stay behind his hands through the strike and then passively release.
What up, dude?
What's up?
Out here with Tyler Parsloe, our director of coaching up here in Colorado. And we're gonna do a little putting video today. I know we've got a lot of requests for that. So Tyler is one of the best putters I know, and I'm having a struggle bus right now with putting. So I'm really excited to do this lesson with him. TP, what you got, bro?
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. Putting's obviously one of the biggest parts of the game, so super stoked to help TJ out, help you guys out, and show you guys a thing or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want to start with like setup? Let's just start there. What kind of things are you looking for in setup?
So first thing that I'd be looking for is kind of how you're gripping it,
Okay.
and how the grip is going to tell kind of the path of the putter and the release of the putter.
Interesting.
So kind of two different things with grip. We can go with a grip that's more through the lifelines or a grip that's a little bit more through the fingers.
Okay.
Each grip will aid in a stroke that has more of a curved path or more of a straight path.
Gotcha. So which one has the more straight path?
More straight is going to be more towards the lifelines, more in the palms of the hands.
Okay.
You can still arc it slightly through there, but that would lead more towards a straighter path in the palms there.
So for those of you who don't know what the lifeline is, right, how would you teach somebody that to kind of grip the putter in their lifeline?
Yeah, totally. So what I would like them to do is just put the putter out in front of them like this, kind of point it straight at your belly button like so.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is allow the putter head to fall and kind of droop in your hands so you can kind of feel some tension in the top of your wrists there.
Gotcha.
From there, just post those elbows out just a little bit and allow that putter just to kind of slip up more towards kind of your thumb bones right here. And that will put it a little bit more in the lifeline, like so.
Gotcha. So I feel like it catches right there in that kind of thumb pad.
Yeah, exactly.
And that would tell me that I'm fully in that lifeline, right?
Yep.
So how about we do this? Because you mentioned already there's kind of two different systems here of how you can grip the putter, right?
Yeah.
So why don't we go through each system? So first we'll go kind of lifeline grip.
Okay.
Okay. So from there, if I know how to get it in the lifeline, which was a good explanation there.
Yeah.
What do I do from there?
What I like to do is put a little bit of opposing pressure on the club. So I'll push my fingertips into the side of the grip. And as those fingertips push into the side of the grip, that's also going to help me push my palm into the opposite side of the grip there. And that's going to really stabilize the face for me. So we got fingertips and then lifeline. That's kind of where the pressure is occurring.
Gotcha.
There.
So you really do feel like a squeeze there to make sure that that putter is really in there and secure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. On pressure-wise, probably a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Okay.
So nothing too crazy, but firm enough to where we can, control the face of the putter and not allow anything.
Yeah, that feels a lot better already.
Rocking around. Yeah. So go ahead and start with one hand here.
Okay.
With that pressure, line up your stuff. Now, from right here, what I'd love to see you do to level out your shoulders is reach down and touch your left kneecap. Yep.
Okay.
And then without elevating your shoulder here, go ahead and bring your left hand right onto the putter.
Okay.
And then double check your forearm lines to make sure everything is nice and flush.
Gotcha, it looks about right there.
Yep.
So that's lifeline. Now, I've bounced back and forth over the last couple of months because I'm just a jumble of different concepts, right? So let's talk fingers. If a player wanted to grip it in the fingers, what would be some of the benefits of that?
Well, you might have a little bit more touch.
Okay.
You might depend on a little bit bigger of an arc, if that's what you're looking for. If the putter you have is, has a lot of toe hang on it, that is going to require quite a bit of arc to actually use that tool effectively. So you might want to go with more of a finger-driven grip with that type of putter. You really have to commit to what system you're going to use, so that you kind of never get stuck in the middle when you're out there playing. The last thing you want to do on the putting green is be unsure about what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
So whatever system we're using, we want to stick to it and kind of own, the ins and outs of that. Yeah.
So for me personally, and again, I'm sure a number of students will find help in this as well.
Yeah.
I've always tried to model my putting, whether this is good or bad, after Tiger. And in his book, he's talking about how he holds it more in his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the system I want to learn and kind of fumble around with today.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to just kind of watch me hit a few putts with those fingers?
Yeah,
Okay,
love to.
let's do that. So when I get it in the fingers, like Tyler's saying, I'm not fully in the lifeline of that left hand. If anything, it's just sitting below the lifeline. And the way that I kind of complete this is this left thumb, or lead thumb, I'm putting into the palm or lifeline of the right hand. So now it feels, instead of gripping the grip with my right lifeline, I'm gripping the thumb with my right lifeline. Now that's just a comfortability thing. I think that's where I've putted the best in my life. It's just another different kind of matchup people can play with.
So would you say that both of your hands are matching as far as where the grip is?
I certainly try to make that happen.
Yeah.
If anything, I have a tendency with this right hand to overly pronate. It's weird for me to feel it in this weak position, but I know that when I pronate, some weird stuff happens with the club. So I'm trying to match up basically the backs of my hands flush together so that no hand is fighting each other during the stroke. That's kind of at least the image that I have.
Gotcha.
So kind of first blush, how does that look?
That looks awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, looks really good. Hands look like they're matching.
Okay.
Everything looks like it's going to be pretty stable throughout the stroke.
Got you. Something that I notice here, when I do have it more in the fingers, my elbows definitely aren't as flared as if I had it in the lifeline.
Right.
And I've seen people teach this numerous different ways, which is where some of the confusion lies with people, I'm sure. Is some people say, squeeze the elbows together. Some people say, get them out apart.
Right.
Would you say a finger-driven one is more squeezing them together?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, that would be more so compatible to a grip that's in the fingers.
Gotcha.
That's going to help the stroke arc. The more underneath you can get those elbows, will enhance that arcing motion for sure.
So something that's always helped me is putting this alignment stick underneath my elbows if I'm going to go with that type of system.
Right.
Because it feels like it connects everything a little bit better. So I'm going to hit a few putts like this.
Yeah, let's see it.
This always lines me up relatively well when I can do this. So that feels like not only fingers, right? And obviously there's a little bit of arc to that, but it feels like I'm rolling it more with my whole body rather than I am with the hands themselves.
Yeah.
What benefits do you see to that for people?
Yeah. So kind of talking about, two different release patterns really. Am I releasing it with the hands, or am I more so kind of rotating my body around a fixed axis, meaning the back of my head and my tailbone?
That's interesting. Can you talk about that a little bit more for me? So you're talking like this angle that you set between your tailbone and your head?
Yep, exactly. Go ahead and hold that for you there. Go ahead and grip your putter.
Okay.
Yep. So what I like to tell students is if this extended all the way down to the ground and kind of stuck you in the ground, I put a piece of tape right here, you'd almost want to feel like you're rotating kind of through your lats here and just working around your head, and then it really stabilizes out your arms, your hands, and everything else. So a fixed axis of the spine, and that way we don't have to change what's going on with our arms and our hands. That club's just going to stay on a nice arcing pattern. So that seems to be the most consistent way to putt, in my opinion.
Okay.
Some people like to do kind of a passive release with their hands. That also puts the club on a curve. You just kind of have to decide what you're going to go with, and what suits you best and what you feel more confident with.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like that image of kind of stabilizing the spine a bit. That makes me feel more rooted into the ground. Just that image of kind of like putting a piece of tape there. Right. Then I'm just rolling it.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. Now me personally, I have a bit of a pull bias when it comes to my putts. You see anything in there that might cause that?
Based on what I'm seeing is his release of the putter is too early and too active. Okay, so what I'm talking about here is basically in space during the stroke, where is the putter head going past the hands and the grip. Okay, so he rotates it a little bit earlier than what I'd like to see based on the system that he's using. So what I'm going to ask TJ is to feel like from the beginning of his through stroke that he's almost going to feel like he's sweeping some dirt and allowing that putter to stay behind his hands through the strike and then passively release versus actively release.
I do feel that. I had a lot of putts with my right hand only, and when I do pull it with the right hand, I feel it go there.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of sweeping action you're talking about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the great putters through the history of the game have always talked about, getting the putter behind their hands, and it really helps multiple things. It helps you get a really good solid roll on it. You're more aware of the face, and with that, you can probably control your speed and distance a lot better too.
Definitely.
I'd like to hit a couple putts.
Okay.
I get to watch TJ hit putts, and I'm just dying to try to roll these things here.
TP's gonna hit some putts. Let's do it.
Let's talk about mental approach to putting.
Okay.
How do you go about making more putts, hitting the ball closer to the hole, being confident with what you're doing? Now, this is a scary place for a lot of people, right? And it can, you can be confident one day and have a couple bad putting holes or a bad couple putting rounds and completely flip the table and go into a slump. And then the question is like, how do we pull ourselves out of that slump, or how do we keep ourselves, at the high point of our putting all the time? What do you think as far as?
I would love to know the answer to that question. When I was playing a lot, it really was about developing a consistent putting routine for me.
Yeah.
I would almost talk out loud the pieces of the putting routine to myself, which again just takes away a lot of that excess noise, mental chatter.
Yep.
You're very focused on each step of the process and what you're doing. So that's what I would do.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about you?
Yeah, definitely along those lines. Everything is a process when it comes to golf, and actually being able to repeat what you want to do, and keeping that mental chatter to a really simplistic, confident, excited, almost cocky type of mentality will help you actually execute the strokes and the putts that you want to make. Let's just walk through one here and kind of walk through a whole mental process.
Let's do it.
The first thing most people tend to do is look immediately at the line and abort the thought of speed.
Yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah.
And then
fall in love with the line, right? That's a common one.
Yeah, exactly. And arguably the most important part of putting is speed. So we want to determine speed first. Speed will determine the line. Once we're there, now we just have to execute.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I want to make a good, confident decision on the speed. So since we're downhill here, I'm going to predict a speed that's going to be more so dripping into the front edge of the hole or dropping kind of into the middle of the hole. Back of the hole is out of the question here. So then I want to start visualizing the start point of my putt and almost playing out little scenarios in my mind of, if I start the putt here, what's going to happen with this speed? You watch some of the best putters on tour, you can tell that they're very in-depth, visual.
You can see the intensity in their eyes as they're surveying the green and what's going on, right?
Exactly.
Trying to visualize all these different scenarios, and they pick the one that just seems right, right?
Yep, something they can commit to, and then they fall into their process there. So I'll go through a whole process here.
Cool.
So first thing I'm going to do, pick my speed. I'm going to drip it into the front edge. This is a pretty heavily braking left to right putt with some pretty steep slope through the midline there of the putt. So what I'm going to do is find my aim point, which is about 2 feet outside the left of the cup. I'm going to swing my putter back and forth until I can feel like this amount of weight, this amount of energy is the speed I want to use.
Okay.
Exhale. Step in, and I'm going to just count 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I find it, I can set up to my putt, line it up to my aim point. One last look at the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. You just have to putt 1, 2, 3, 4 and not miss your count.
You missed your count on that one?
I missed my count. Yeah. Sometimes a camera will do that to you.
Sure.
But
Get you a little nervous?
yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, when someone's watching, you never really know what's going on with your mind.
Very good.
Go. Put
There's
that one
the
on
drip.
camera.
I'll just put that one in there. I'll edit out the miss. I think what you can notice about what Tyler did there was how detailed, and honestly, you've done that routine so many times in your life that it's just like second nature to you.
Yep.
So before this really starts to work and play out for someone, you've got to put in the time to actually make that second nature.
Yeah.
That's what I've noticed is like when I'm not working on the putting routine and I get up under pressure, you don't know where your mind's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've developed that habit to just go through the same process every single time, then you've got a higher chance of making those putts under pressure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that was sick, bro. I learned a lot today.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, me too. That was fun.
good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that video. Super fun to make. If you like that one, we do have others. Click that subscribe button. Keep following us. Peace.